Live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to another free on-page session of SEO Secrets with Josh Bashinsky. That would be me. As I've just mentioned to the folks here live in the Zoom, we're going to be doing a full on-page session. I'm going to take you from zero to hero. We're going to go all the way from the very beginning of on-page, everything you need to do, everything you need to look at, and then get to the very end of on-page. So we're going to do the whole on-page process, cover that today. And so you'll be able to investigate your keywords. You'll be able to investigate the competition. You'll be able to add more people to the Zoom call when you see a bit. You'll be able to completely flesh out your on-page process and your on-page strategy. And make sure you wait to the end of the broadcast. There are some gifts, some little gifts I have to give away for you guys by the end of the broadcast. And for those of you who've joined into the Zoom call, anyone is still welcome to join the Zoom call. At the end of the broadcast, I turn off the cameras and I'll give you all the secrets. They can ask me anything. I'll do a secret little Ask Me Anything session afterwards. Membership has its privileges. I sent the email out a bunch of times and said, hey, make sure you say you want to join. So people who are in the Zoom call will get access to that. If you on YouTube want access to that, just let me know in the chat. You should see on YouTube on the right-hand side. And I can give you access to the Zoom call as well. So you can get access to the secret session afterwards, he said, as he sipped his English morning breakfast tea. Tea in the mustache. That's exactly what the ladies like. All right. Okay, so all right, let's get started. So on-page is probably the first process you want to do for your SEO campaign. Luckily, we live in a great world where AI exists, and AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. It used to take us 20 hours per page to do roughly. Now it takes us anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to do a page. So that's a massive reduction of time. It's saving you so much time. It's saving you so much money if you have to pay somebody else to do this. And it's allowing you to go faster, which is a good thing. Because unlike what the SEO industry believes, here's your first pro tip secret from 30 years experience, is that content velocity is not a deranking factor. In fact, quite the opposite. Bigger sites rank better. Everybody knows this. It's been this way for quite some time. And the faster you are a big site with high quality content is the faster you'll rank. And this is the caveat finger. This is the finger that means caveats. There's an addendum I'd like to add here. All the quality you add on your site, whether you add it fast or slow, and whether you add only 5 pages or 500 pages, it has to be all high quality content. So the question is, what is high quality content? We're going to show you that today, exactly what it is, objectively what it is. I'm going to show you that today. No more guessing, no more hint work, no more listening to Google's bullshit. I can tell you exactly what that's going to be today, high quality content, objectively. And we're going to show you how to make these sites huge. You get chunked up. You get enormous, like these boxers on my shirt here. You're going to get enormous. You make more money faster sooner. That's the other part of SEO that I think a lot of people miss, is that they're like, okay, everyone in the industry says SEO takes 6 to 12 months, right? Which is just a completely pulled out of your butt random number, by the way. I know, because I was the one who started it. I'm the one who said, 6 to 12 months, 6 to 12 years ago. So that's not, I made that up. And then people just started saying, oh yeah, blah, 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 6 to 12 months. So that's a complete made out of your butt number. The real number should be much, much smaller than that, right? You don't want to wait 12 months to be able to make, $500 a month on an SEO keyword and have spent $1,000 a month up to then to get it. That's just not good business. Your business is not going to succeed doing that. Your client's business is not going to succeed doing that. That's got bad juju. Bad juju all over the place. Oh, did I say something racist? Can you say juju these days? I don't know. Bad hocus pocus. You got bad hocus pocus these days if you're doing your SEO that way. Okay. So let's get to it. So I'm going to show you the AI tool that we built and that we use to do this. Again, it's a revolutionary tool. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money. Now, quickly, let's just see here. Oh, yay. Okay, we are broadcasting. Is there a noise? Is there noise coming out? Is there noise? There's noise coming out. Yay. Okay. So Josh is broadcasting to YouTube correctly. Fantastic. All right. So here is the tool. It's SEO Copilot. You can find it at SEOCopilotAI.com. It is a great copilot for your AI, for your SEO, rather. It's a great AI agent. We made SEO Copilot before the word agent even existed. AI agent even existed. Now it's all the rage. AI agents, AI agents. Well, we've built one for SEO. It's an SEO AI agent, and it can help you in multiple different ways with your OnPage. It's quite amazing. And the more important thing I want to show you, like I say here, it'll automate your SEO, save you tons of money, and you will rank high. But the information I'm going to give you today is valuable across the board for any kind of SEO. So that's fantastic. Plus, I just want to mention and make sure everyone understands what I'm talking about today is not just affiliate SEO or consultant SEO. It's not just local SEO. It's all SEO, right? I've done SEO for 30 years. I've been there and done that. I have done SEO literally for every niche that makes money, from porn to politics, from churches to escort sites. God knows what. I've done SEO for all of it. I don't judge. I just do the SEO. And both for local and for global as well. So this on-page process I'm going to show you today is for all of that SEO. If you want to rank in Google, including the Google AI overview, if you want to rank in any of that, which is just the featured snippet beefed up, if you want to rank for any of that, you need to do a proper on-page process. On-page is one of the biggest signals that exists. In fact, on-page is the biggest SEO signal that exists. Do your research. Google has publicly admitted years ago that backlinks are not even the top 3 ranking factors anymore. So you need to make sure your on-page is set up. The way these AIs work, like ChatGPT, the text you give it is what's important. So the text on your page is what's the most important thing. They've fired most of their human quality raters, and now they mostly have an AI rating the quality of a page in real time, which if you've been doing SEO as long as I have, you've been around as long as I have, you should realize how amazing that is. That is just simply amazing. That they used to employ tens of thousands of humans who would manually rate the quality of pages, and they would try to machine learn and suss out things from that. That's how Google worked for 25 years at least. Excuse me. Now it doesn't work that way anymore. Now the AI looks at it and goes, yep, good, bad, quality page, spam page, quality page, spam page. And so that's just amazing. So our AI system is based off the way that Google works and analyzes the helpfulness and content of pages. So we'll get to that when we talk about article builder. When we start building out articles, I'll show you how to do that. I'll completely go through the process of how to do all of this. Now, here's the first part of the process. This one here, obviously, start, step 2, step 3. There's an obvious kind of diagram as to how you should be doing this. That's as simple as I could make it to make people understand. And you need to start, every single successful SEO campaign needs to start with finding the ranking opportunities, with keyword discovery. People used to call it finding the low-hanging fruit. People used to call it niche research. It's not just for affiliate sites. It's for every kind of SEO. If you want to try to rank in Google, you need, it's not optional. You need to start by finding the low-hanging fruit, the searches where the competitors are weaker and there's more money to be had there for you. I've shown people how to do this for years. I used to have a very complex Excel sheet that I would use and like all kind of complex data I would pull in, and it used to take a very long time. Now I've given all that 30 years experience to the AI. I just took it out of my brain, put it in the AI, and now the AI does it in 5 minutes, right? It is an amazing feature, an amazing tool. So let me show you how it works. So SEO niches are not all created equal. Some make far more money than others at the upper level for like analyzing general business ideas, and some are way harder to rank for than other ones are. And this changes over time. If you've been watching me doing these free Friday courses for a while, you might notice that all of the keywords in here have been changing over time. And we regularly refresh this because the difficulty changes over time, right? As clients come in and not clients, as competitors come in or out. When I think of rankings, I think of clients. So when my clients are more powerful and they're ranking better than everybody else, when competitors come in or out, the money that can be made, and also when we get new data from Google Ads, which is where we get our data from, of the money that can be made. So it's based on a very scientific, publicly published paper from Google. Google actually employs an economist. Did you know this? Google actually employs an economist. And the economist put out a giant statistical data correlative analysis like we do here as well at SEO University, which is the think tank that built SEO University, is the think tank that built SEO Copilot. Again, 5-second shameless plug. We have over 10 years experience and we manage over $25 million organic budget per year. We are the very elite top level SEOs that you've never heard of, because that's the way we want it. We don't want Google on our radar. If you want to join this elite group and literally learn how to revolutionize your SEO process, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com, and make sure you wait to the end. There could be some juicy coupons for you at the end for you joining SEO University. Anyway, so it's integral that you start with any SEO campaign. Every single SEO campaign has to start with keyword discovery. You need to find where the competitors are weak and the money is maximal, where people have their credit card in their hand and they're ready to make a purchase. Now that could be sometimes the high end of the sales funnel, or sometimes the low end of the sales funnel, because at the end of the day, the sales funnel is just an abstraction that we SEOs made up 20 years ago and been using it like gospel, when really it's not true. It's not real in any way. Human beings are actually far more complicated than that. They will make a purchase on an informational query sometimes. Sometimes you make a navigational query. They'll go direct to the site and they won't make a purchase. Just because they've followed an informational path does not mean that's the sales path. That's just how we summarized it to make it easier for ourselves. I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm telling you all the dirty SEO secrets. Yeah, so I mean, not so much of a secret. Anyone who thinks about that goes, oh yeah, of course, that's just an abstraction. That's something we made up. And it tended to be useful for us. I'm going to disabuse us of a number of those kinds of things that SEOs made up that are getting in the way of their SEO now, because AI can look at 10,000 lines of code. AI can look at 10,000 competitors and tell you these are the keywords you want to rank for because they make the most money and they're the easiest. Wherever they are on the sales funnel doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore. That's an abstraction, right? So the year is 2025, and this hasn't mattered since 2023, since we made this tool. So that's one major secret bombshell. You can go out there and tell people the search sales funnel is BS. It's made up. It's always been made up. Use AI to analyze where people are actually ready to make a purchase, whether it's an informational query or a transactional query or not. Those are just abstractions that we made up in the first place. Okay. So how does it work? Well, it's very easy. You go into one of these niches here, and you'd be like, okay, well, they do room additions in Roseville. So these are the kinds of queries that we should start ranking them for. These are what's related. My AI was able to find a very auspicious number, if you understand Pythagorean theorem. Try to say that 5 times fast early on a Friday morning when you've barely had any English breakfast tea. 4,444 results found. 4,420 more results than you would have looked at, right? And it's cast a very wide net and found, wow, look at all these keywords that make a ton of money, but are actually easy to rank for. And this is the final ROI. You sort it by final return on investment, which will take the more money times the easiest equals the best final ROI score. And this actual hard score in the system doesn't matter. This 1,049,000,000, whatever it is, for this 10,492,483 number here, you don't have to worry about that at all. This is just a way for us to sort it and sort the better ones. This is the actual keywords you should be trying to rank for, right? If you're trying to do room additions in Roseville, you might start considering these kinds of keywords. Now, sometimes they'll be relevant for your site, sometimes they won't. You'll be like, the AI is very good, but it casts a wide net on purpose. And if they're like, I want to do room additions, and that's all I want to rank for, Josh, I don't care about anything else, you might want to do some pushback. You'd be like, apparently no one searches this. It's very easy to rank for, so I can do it for you, Mr. Client. It's 48% easier than SEO is on average, because every single keyword in this tool is compared against every single other keyword of every single of our thousands of customers working on tens of thousands of niches across the board. So it is a very highly accurate, in terms of statistical data correlative analysis. In my master's degree and in my PhD, I studied the mathematical formula for scientific validity of a massive statistical data correlative analysis study, scientific study, and we are well beyond the threshold for scientific validity. So when I tell you this is 48% easier than SEO is in the last 3 months, that is the truth. You can take that to the bank, right? This is only going to be off by maybe 10% if there's like some weirdness going on. Like if you click on this and there's some weirdness going on, oh, that's weird. I can't drill down because I did a search. If you go in here, oh, there it is. That was weird. It just took a couple of seconds to show up. If you go in here, you're going to see the data of how we came to this determination, whether they have put in keywords in the prime SEO spots. These people don't know how to SEO for this, right? And that's maybe because it's this keyword and this is a weirder one, but that doesn't matter. The point is, don't look at this keyword. Look at this data I'm trying to show you for the keywords you're going to search. If it looks like this, then you're in a good way. They barely have their pages focused on the keyword. Their sites are not focused on the keyword. Their titles are barely focused on the keyword. They don't have the keywords in the right places. They barely have any backlinks, which is not surprising because backlinks are not even the top 3 ranking factors anymore. They got a lot of traffic. Okay, well, that could make it more difficult because they're getting a better traffic signal from Google. And yes, traffic is a signal to Google. That's what you need to add after you do your on-page and build your site up to the size it needs to be competitive to everybody else. But we also have some brand awareness here. My AI recognizes certain brands they may be difficult to get rid of. So yeah, so what you need to do is you need to throw some keywords in there. Does anyone have any keywords you want me to test for you today? Anybody have any keywords you want me to test that you want me to throw in there? There are a lot of them that can be pretty good. Electric bikes. Thank you, Justin. Justin says, let's put in electric bikes. Okay, is that a local keyword? First off, what I'll do here, let me know if it's local, and if it is, what area you want me to do it to. Hey there, guys. On YouTube, if you have any questions, please ask them here. SEO questions, just ask. Okay, let me go to my test SERP here. Let me put in electric bikes. This is for the US. It's an e-commerce query, obviously. I don't see any local coming up. Okay, so this is not local. Okay, great, fine. So, not local, but pretty new industry and competitive. Let's see. Let's put that to the test. Okay, so in here, we'll put in electric bikes, all locations, go. So my AI is going to start talking with other data sources and other multiple AIs that I have. This is a complex chain of thought ideation agent, which is going to do like a team of SEOs is going to start thinking about it and asking questions and getting more data and extending the search for different information. So it got, wow. So there's some good money here. It got 10,000 different ideas for you. Now it's going to run the difficulties. Oh, it already has a bunch of them, probably because you already ran them. Wow, look how much some of these are up. This is up 900% in the last 6 months. This is up 1,600% in the last 6 months. This is a very hot niche. Look at this. If you want to do an affiliate play on this, this would be great to do an affiliate play on. Also, look how it's average, on average, it's 14%. minus 14% easier on average than in terms of a general niche at the upper umbrella level. If you're trying to decide, should I try to make money in SEO with electric bikes, or should I try to make money in SEO with, I don't know, kitchen remodels and doing it for clients or something? Well, the answer, this is giving you some very, very important business decision data that you can also try to, like, Josh, it's not going to work for me. I do in-house SEO. Sure it will. Of course it will. I don't know about you, but I've been an in-house SEO multiple times in my life. For pretty big companies doing millions of dollars organic a month. And the CEO would come over to my desk and be like, we need to move into this. And I would search it online. I'd be like, this doesn't seem to have as much money. Idea A doesn't have as much money as idea B. Look. And he'd look at it and be like, oh, wow, great. Okay, let's do idea B. So our jobs as SEOs is not just to rank. Our jobs as SEOs is to make money. It is to make money for you if you're doing it for yourself, or to make money for your client or your customer or your boss, your company, if you're doing it for somebody else. So we are doing ourselves and everyone a disservice if we're just like, no problem, boss, and don't do any keyword research to begin with and try to rank for, I don't know, the hardest keyword to begin with that made not as much money as another one. You might be like, Josh, I can't believe this. This is mind-blowing. You're here to tell me that the SEO industry, which has been kind of ignoring this for the last 20 years, although this was gospel 25 years ago. 20 years ago, in the early 2000s, this is all we did, right? We did keyword competitive research to find the chinks in the armor, to find where smog was missing scales we could place our arrows, to find the easier niches that made a lot of money. You might be like, I can't believe that this is true, Josh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, believe it. This happens all the time because Google punts people out, new things come in, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and even millennials, they search in weird ways, they talk to their phones. So there's all these kinds of autocompletes that are here that can be way easier to rank for. And you notice everyone else has gone for these ones, making them tough, harder than SEO is on average, in some cases by a lot. But some of them have not. Some of them are not because people didn't go for those. So there are chinks in the armor. There are places where you can fit in. And what you want to do is, if you have a brand new site, well, if you have an existing site, let's start with that. If you have an existing site and you're already very powerful, what you want to do is sort by final return on investment. If you already have rankings in these areas here, all you need to do is turn on final return on investment and start building from the top. Because these, statistically, pound for pound, are the keywords that are going to make you more money and are easier to rank for, that other people just overlooked. They just overlooked them. It's simple as that. And if you're like, Josh, it doesn't take long for me to run into a tough niche or something like that. I don't know if my site's ready for very tough keywords. Well, if you're already ranking on page 1 for some of these, then maybe you're ready to try this out. But if you're starting with a newer site or a site that is not ranking for any of these queries, and you even have trouble getting the page reliably indexed and ranking anywhere in Google for these queries, that means you have a sick site or an untrusted site. And if you have a sick or untrusted site because you're trying to rank for these kinds of queries, but you're nowhere near ranking anywhere for any of them on page 1, and you can barely keep the pages indexed on like page 5 or 6, that means you need to build up trust with Google. Now, here's one of the major secrets I'm going to teach you today. How do you build up trust with Google? You build up trust with Google by answering the questions they need answered, right? Think of it from Google's perspective. They've got a problem of 80,000 people per second. Last time we checked, it was 80,000 queries per second. 80,000 people per second are asking them all kinds of questions like, is this e-bike good? Is that e-bike good? And Google's like, I don't know. It needs other people to answer that question, right? Now, who are they going to trust to answer these questions? They're going to trust people to answer these questions who have done proper SEO, who have the right keywords, they're saying the right stuff in terms of the semantics, they're talking they're on the topic. Not only this, they're an expert. They have 30 years experience. They're speaking about it from a place of expertise. showing them all the authority and therefore are getting the trust. AKA EAT, right? The acronym Google's been saying forever. You have to have EAT content. You need EEAT. You need the experience, expertise, authority, and the trust. I call it HEAT, actually, HEEATT, two T's at the end. You need to be more helpful than everybody else as well in your expert article, because the helpful content update, Google has put that out. I'm sure everybody knows. It's now wrapped into the core algorithm, which I can prove to you if you want me to. But it exists, so you need to be more helpful than everybody else in answering the question. You need to speak about it in the way an experienced expert would speak about it, from a place of authority, giving pro tips and genuine insights from like whatever 20, 30 years experience. That will give you the trust, and you need to be more timely than everybody else. If there's current information, you need to be more timely. QDF, query deserves freshness. So that's how you make it a slam dunk. That's how you convince Google that you are to be trusted. What you would do in that case, if again, you're trying to rank for these queries and you can't even get anything indexed, what you need to do is you need to sort by difficulty and go to the easiest and start building from here. And then find a query like this one, add motor trike. It's gonna make you money. Look, people are bidding $677 to be there, 3,600 searches a month, even though it's down 35%. This is still, in terms of a rough approximate, a keyword that's gonna make you a lot more money than this keyword, or this keyword, or this keyword. This could be as much as times 10 off. I fully admit. This is just a rough approximate, the KRB, the keyword revenue ballpark. But the difficulty is not. This is very easy to rank for. Now, here's another problem. My AI missed some of the traffic and the backlinks. That doesn't matter. Look here. People have no idea what they're doing. OnPage, all of this from here backwards is the major ranking factor. These are minor ranking factors after this. And they don't know what they're doing. They didn't put add motor trike in anywhere in their title. It's not on their URL. Their page is barely about it at all. If you really want to get a more accurate difficulty for this, you can just rerun add motor trike if you like. You can go here to add motor trike and be like, okay, first off, you should favorite it because this is a good one. This is an easy one that makes money. This is the low-hanging fruit for sure. A big juicy apple or orange for you. A big juicy money blob for you for ranking for this. You say, get more ideas, and it will do another keyword planner for you for that. Hopefully the APIs we use that give us all that data won't be sleeping on the job. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. This could be off by 20%, whoop-de-doo. So it's still 35% easier. That's the maximum this stuff will matter, 10 or 20%, if that. It's the on-page stuff here that really matters, the title backwards. And look, their sites are barely dedicated to this topic. Their pages are barely dedicated to this topic. All you need to do is make a good page, and theoretically you'd be able to rank for this. Now, that's just theoretically to say, look, if you see a keyword like this that has this and this here, that's a good keyword. You do need to also look at what the keyword is here, because now that I'm doing a deeper dive on it, I notice, oh, wait a minute. Add motor seems to be a brand name. Okay, never mind. This might be one, you could still build for it, but Google always is going to rank the brand ahead of it, obviously. You could easily get number 3 for it though. You can bump this guy off, theoretically, right? But this is maybe a bad example because add motor is a brand name. I didn't realize that. But that's not the point. The point is how do you use this tool? And when you go through the data for your area, when you see something like this, you can be like, that's great. And this page is still going to be part of your cluster, right? It's still going to be, I'm going to show you how to do clustering today as well, which is a very popular method of on-page building. This is still part of your cluster. And I'm going to tell you how to do that right now. Let me show you how a cluster looks. Hey, Windows, do you still have there used to be a thing you could do. I'll just do it in Paint. Ye olde Paint. Okay, here's what a cluster looks like. Here's your index page, okay? Here's another page, another page, another page, This is all your ranking pages. And are you ready to see how it all links up? Like this. It links to all of them. It all links like this. In AKA, there's one page. Not one page. There's one cluster. There's one cluster, and all these pages link to each other. All ranking pages link to each other, and this goes in the top navigation. I have much better courses to teach how to do this in SEO University, and I have tons of data to prove to you that this is the way to do it, that you will get tremendous boosts from doing it this way. But the short version is this is the cluster. And I'm happy to be able to tell you guys this, to disabuse you of the notion in SEO that's like, oh, you're supposed to be putting a bunch of other pages down here. Nope, wrong. These redheaded stepchildren down here do not have as much juice. You are making it harder to rank these. Or if you put all your focus on this cluster you made, well, then none of this is going to rank because you put all your focus on this. You need to starve Google of signals, not give them more, generally speaking. Generally speaking, you need to starve Google of signals. You might be like, Josh, that doesn't make any sense. I thought that all the ranking factors were boosters. Nope, not even close. Not even close. For example, here is the leaked Google API content warehouse. Does everyone know what this is? Maybe 6 months ago? Was it a year ago? I can't remember now. But fairly recently, in terms of SEO time, remember I've been doing this for 30 years. Fairly recently, Google accidentally on their GitHub repo, which GitHub is a standard website for people to do versioning control on code bases, and that's called a repository or a repo. And Google has a repo there. Alphabet, Google's parent company, that they made out of thin air from Google. So Alphabet is Google. Alphabet, their public repository suddenly had the private portions of the repository made public. And that included all of their ranking factors, all 7,414 pages of them. As you can see, the PDF is 7,414 pages. And SEO University has studied this extensively. We've been through it all. And I'm quite proud to say that we knew 95% of the ranking factors already. This leak didn't really help us. It just helped everybody else who was paying attention, which kind of really pissed us off. But anyway, but it did help us find some ranking factors that we never even dreamed Google would make ranking factors. And they were all on-page ranking factors, by the way. And I also want to show you another thing. You're like, Josh, how do I know that this quality is important that you're talking about? Or spam is important? Look how many times the word spam shows up in this leaked documentation for ranking factors. Now, I don't have time to go into this today, but we got spam brain data. Remember spam brain? Do you know what spam brain is? Spam brain is the major spam algorithm, right? There's a holy trinity of rankings for Google. There's rank brain that boosts pages and indexes them more. There's spam brain, which de-indexes pages and de-ranks them more. And then there's snippet brain that chooses, after it gets this list from rank brain of the 1,000 shard collection of pages, it decides to take this one down here and move it up here, or this one here and move it down here. And it changes what it says in the snippet. If you're like, what's the snippet? The snippet is this thing here. These are the snippets. This is a snippet. Snippet brain decided to put this here. Snippet brain decided to put this here. Snippet brain decided to say this here. Snippet brain decided to bold this here. Snippet brain decided what part of the page to use as the title. But it got this collection of pages back from rank brain after spam brain had filtered out tens of thousands of pages here it didn't want anymore. That's how the Google search system works. Ask anybody from Google. That's how it works. So look at how many times the word spam shows up in here. Look at the different scores they have. Spam brain score, spam IM, spam IM, spam score 1, spam score 2, page rank, nearest C, blah, blah, blah. Look at all the different client spamminess. It's more than just pages that can be spammy. You can be spammy. Doc quality score. Here's a quality score as well. They have tons and tons and tons of spam scores and quality scores. That's why, again, it is crucial you understand how Google system works, and it's crucial to understand how to get a quality page and have it be an objective measurement, which I have for you, and I'll be showing you at the end of today. Okali Dokolis, you guys got any questions here? No questions yet? Okay, great. Okay, so I can go into deeper. I'm going to close this. Yeah, don't say it. Okay, I can go into deeper details later on. But if you have a smaller site or a new site that, again, you're trying to rank for electric bikes, anything related to electric bikes, but you can't get Google to index anything anywhere, the first step is to build on the right keywords, the ones that are very easy. You sort by keyword difficulty. If you have a big site that already ranks really well for this topic, start by final ROI and be bold and start going for the big money keywords right away. This is where the money is. This is a great keyword. 67 grand in my system is a great keyword. This is a great keyword. You could easily make over 100 grand a month ranking on page 1 for this. Easily. Probably more. Now, and as I said, if you have a sick site or a site that you're trying to rank for this stuff, but it's not working, you can even barely get the pages indexed and stay in Google, then you need to start with the very easy or easy, sort by keyword difficulty, and start from here. And then look for keywords that have money behind them, because it's better than just building a cluster page. It's building a page that also will make you money sooner rather than later. For SEO, you want to start making money in month 1, 2, or 3, not year 1, 2, or 3. If you have to wait until year 1, 2, or 3 to make money in SEO, statistically, you're not going to survive, right? The odds are stacked tremendously against you. That's a thing I don't think a lot of people realize. They're reading blogs that are written in 2004 about SEO, and they think that it still works that way. It does not. It's not a fair race. The race started 20 years ago. You missed that starter pistol by 20 years. So it's not some of your competitors have been building up signals for that long. So it's not a fair race. It's not an easy race. There's tons of money to be made, and we can do it. And I'll show you the proof of how we do it. I could show you ranking proof after ranking proof. Hello, Ira. Welcome back, Mr. Borden. And I saw your question there, Justin. I'll get to it in a second. I could show you here. Oh, we just found another secret. That was great. A new LLM.text that they're using for the new search engines is fantastic. But anyway, here is using SEO Copilot and SEO University together. Here is doing the same. Here's doing the same. Here's positive ranking results from a survey. Here's the same there. Here's the same there. And this is a great example of using SEO Copilot and SEO University to start building stuff up. This was only from SEO Copilot right here. I mean, obviously, and also SEO University. I run SEO University, so obviously I'm not going to forget all the ranking factors we know about and all the tactics we know about. I'm not going to forget to put them in there. But this content was specifically written by SEO Copilot. All of our content is more or less now written by SEO Copilot. The only students in SEO University who are not using SEO Copilot to write the content are ones that already have writers on staff that they didn't want to fire. And they're still wasting money, however. And they're still going way slower and not making as much money for themselves or their customers as they could. But anyway, if you look like this, if your search console looks like this and it's dots and dashes, that's what it looks like when you have a very weak site that's not ready to rank for it yet. And you need to start building from very easy and up. And the reason is because, like I said, it all comes down to trust, right? Google is going to try the pages that have the right semantic words and they're all the right other helpful expertise, experience, authority, and trust words. And they're going to try you out for that answer. And that's why you see the shifting in Search Console and the dots and dashes, like as a dot, dash. It's like Morse code in your Search Console. And it's exactly like Morse code in your Search Console. Anyone who's ever seen that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And that is a direct signal from Google. It is get more trustworthy content. That's what Google is exactly messaging to you when you see dots and dashes in your Search Console. It's telling you to get in Morse code, get more trustworthy content. Give me more words so I'm sure you are about the right topic. Give me more words so I'm sure you're helpful. Give me more words so I'm sure you're an expert. You're talking about it like an expert, not like a newbie, or not like some guy in, no offense to people over in India. I love you guys. I love Indian food. I love Bollywood. I love everything about it. But you hire some person who's not very good, no matter where in the world they are, and English is not the first language, and they write the crappiest article from the crappiest perspective, not going to work. Not going to work. That I just showed you. Google has like 300 different spam algorithms to find that and get rid of you. That's why I said most of Google's algorithms are about filtering pages out. Google has an embarrassment of riches problem. They have to filter out. They have to catalog, categorize, and filter out with SpamBrain. SpamBrain is the AI, the conglomerate AI agent that has multiple AI agents working for it that does this, right? And one of the ways to be sure that it does this is to give it a low quality page. That's what it means to be a low quality page. It's not relevant enough. It's not helpful enough. But when you make helpful pages, when you go here and you find what pages are the easiest because no one is talking enough about the topic, or these guys are, but no one is talking enough about the topic, their page is not enough about it, their site's not enough about it, that means that they have not done what they need to do to make Google as sure as possible from an algorithmic perspective that they are about what this needs to be about. But this is the best answer they have. This is the best answer that Google has. People who don't talk about it and their sites and pages are barely about it. That's the best they got. Do you see now how you can slide in? You can make a page more about it, better about it, more helpful on it, from a better expert perspective. And Google will reward you. It'll eventually look like this. Google will start trying you out and you'll be going even further. Do you guys want to see how this project looks now? This post I posted, this was from last year in December. Do you guys want to see how well this project is doing now? Does anyone want to see it? Let me know. I don't want to just inundate you with hours and hours and hours of our wins, which I could, but I probably wouldn't be useful. Justin says, isn't e-bike very broad, though hard to target, hard to write a page just targeting the word e-bike? Nope. Nope, a page is a page that needs text. It's all the same to Google. Google doesn't have a broad or a hard. Those are not classifiers in Google's system. Google does have other classifiers that we know about from testing, like this. It has these classifiers. It has click age here's another leak that we got. Click age probability, which is the RankBrain score, the probability that the age of the click you're going to get is going to be long. They're going to stay there longer. So like looking again, like or let me show you. I need to alt tab to it to show you, so I'll show you anyway. So this is using SEO Copilot. This is using SEO Copilot. This is an SEO Copilot campaign. You see everything going up here. But, it's just OnPage on its own. OnPage is great and very important, but it's not all of the rankings. And you see here, let me show you here. Let me show you. Yeah, this is the, see this is the boost here. SEO Copilot there, this. Or I can actually filter it out to just that section. And you notice it's not a blog section, even though between you and me it is a blog. But nowhere does the word blog show up on the site because, again, that's another spam factor that SpamBrain sees. Here's my client sells Jaguar parts. So you see I'm ranking just for the Jaguar parts. This is not like Gary's favorite Jaguar part, like some informational bullshit spam. These are all keywords that he's going to make money on. I got him 250,000 impressions that didn't exist before and 5,000 clicks, 5,000 chances to make a sale that never existed previously. And this is how this is still working. It still works great. I stopped adding content about here and then just let it run. Still worked great. Pulled the rest of the site up, still working great. But the point is, however, if your site looks like this, now you notice the CTR, see how the CTR works here? No, turn this on, here we go. See how the CTR was really, really high? They're clicking you and they're trying you. Oh, now my Chrome's about to crash. Hopefully the whole system doesn't crash. There we go. Okay. 25%, 20% CTR, 7% CTR, then boom, then it's solid, right? Now we got solid rankings on this, adding them, but but Josh, isn't this a ranking line showing that it's staying the same and not boosting at all? Nope. Look at the impressions. The impressions and the clicks are the thing to look at. This is the important thing to look at, right? And it's going up. It vectors up, obviously, to this line here. That means they're ranking me not only for stuff I made content about, But for stuff that's unrelated, for all the unrelated queries that I didn't necessarily make a page about, I didn't make this many pages. I didn't need to make this many pages. But look how many clicks we've got here. It goes on and 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 on. So anyway, that's what a successful campaign looks like. And I even just shoved it into a subdirectory. I didn't even do this in the clustering I told you the way you should be doing it. That would have been ideal because the customer had an antiquated old, this happens in SEO all the time. The customer had an antiquated old e-commerce system that you can't add pages to. So I was like, all right, fine, no problem. Add WordPress here, change it so it doesn't say blog, remove all the tag category bullshit, remove all the blog rule bullshit, remove any of the blog bullshit, and just put it in a /parts because you sell parts. So we should be talking about parts. We shouldn't be talking about blog. They're not trying to sell blog. We shouldn't be talking about archives. They're not trying to sell archives. We shouldn't be talking about information. They're not trying to sell information. We shouldn't be talking about articles. They're not selling articles. They're not a newspaper. They sell parts. So it should be called /parts. So Google can't go, oh, they made a blog. Bing, get rid of them. You have to starve Google of signals. In 90% of the cases, you need to starve Google of signals. Well, that's not true. I guess if I was being fair, I'd say 50%, 60 to 70% of the time, you need to starve Google of signals. The other 30 to 40% of the time, you need to stuff it full of signals. And you need to stuff it full of the right signals. You know, the on-page, all the on-page content, all the on-page places, all the entity association you need to do, which I'm going to show you how to do today. And then stuff I can't show you how to do today because I don't have time. All the schema you need to add, all of the images you need to build, all the image SEO you need to be doing, not huge other major ranking factors, the social SEO you need to be doing, the editorial SEO you need to be doing, all the data SEO you need to be doing, all the tips and tricks that I would teach you in SEO University that I don't have time to go over today. So no, Justin, I'm sorry. I don't know if I fully answered your question, but a page is a page is a page. If you think you have the site that is high enough quality and has big enough brand, you could try to rank for it, you can try to rank for it. Yes, like I said, my difficulty can be off 10 or 20% depending on the nature of the query. And you're right, it is a little broader. So that easy you're seeing there is probably a bit of a fib, but not really, not really. You just have to make sure that you have the right kind of site, the right kind of design, the right kind of content, the right kind of structure on the page. And in this case, it'll probably be heavily e-commerce for that particular page. One new message. Oh, it's just this thing. Okay. All right. So that's how you, let's see if there's any questions here in the tube views. No. Okay. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay. So basically that's how that works. For very easy, you start building up and make it a slam dunk and give Google the answers. And you just keep building. Now, you're like, Josh, how many pages do I build? You need to be equal to your competitors, right? If they have 1,000 pages on e-bikes, more or less indexed, then you need 1,000 pages on e-bikes, more or less indexed. You could probably compete with less because our OnPage is more efficient and more powerful, but you probably need to be in and around that same area, right? So you're like, Josh, I'll never catch up, because it's dangerous to build more than 1 page a week or 10 pages a week. And wrong. It's dangerous not to catch up, right? You need to catch up with them. And as long as you're building quality content, you can catch up with them. I'm here to disabuse you of another myth in the SEO industry. Can we look at the OnPage next time? Oh yeah, we're looking at the OnPage, Neil. This is OnPage. This is finding the right stuff to rank for. This is crucial. Everything I'm telling you now is crucial. It's interesting you say that because that's what a lot of people are like. Like, this isn't OnPage you're talking about. Yes, it is. In fact, it's the most important part. It's the most important part of OnPage. If you don't start with this process, good luck. You're probably not going to succeed, right? I've been doing this 30 years. If you don't do the niche research ahead of time, if you do not do the keyword discovery ahead of time, you're probably going to fail, period. So would I, no matter how long I've been doing this. You need to start there. That's where 70% of SEO campaigns go right or go wrong? He says, yes, yes, but the actual on-page content. Yes, yes, I will get to that in a second. Okay, what was I saying? Saying something. I don't quite remember. Oh yeah, right. So I mean, if your competitors have a lot of pages built up on that, you need it too. So there's a bunch of ways you can find that out. It's pretty easy to find out. You can do it for free as well. You can go here and be like, okay, site colon. Let's go here. Let's go here for this one. Let's view the SERP for this one. Okay, so again, this is a particular brand, so that's not a good example. Let's find a good example. Stromer battery rebuild. Okay, great. I'm gonna have to have a coffee break in a second. Okay, I need more tea to power this. Okay, so what you do is you're like, okay, how many pages do they have? Let's look at this guy here. Let's look at this query. Let's go here in Chrome. So I can do this here. You can, if you have the plugin, well, my plugin's not working for some reason. I don't know why. Let's make the geolocation US. Let's make the query properly in the proper format, the way Google likes it. Oh well, I used to have a Chrome installation that would tell me. Another way to tell you is to go here and be like, okay, fine. Let's go to this Hick battery. Let's go site colon like this. And let's do this and put Stromer in quotations because this is all about that. And then do this. And then it'll tell you how many pages they have on this topic. So they've got about 80 pages with another 72 that's been restricted, but they're still indexed in Google, so that's still adding to their cluster. So then you would add it with your pages omitted. Go here, go here. All right, so we got about 120 pages that talk about this. So if you want to outrank, you want to have a hope in hell of outranking this site on whatever query that was, that has to do with this main entity, you need around the same level of content, right? You're going to need about 120 pages. And that's where you want to compete. You do not pound for pound, dollar for dollar. OnPage is where you want to compete. OnPage is where you can gain ground. Here's another thing that a lot of people don't consider. They think, okay, I'll gain ground in magic dust. I'll gain ground. I'm not sure exactly where they think they're going to gain ground on their competitors. They're like, oh, I'll just build it because 2004 said I can. And I'll gain ground magically because I'm special. I have main character energy. I applaud your main character energy. However, that's not the way the world works. You can't gain ground, and you don't want to gain ground on the expensive and risky SEO tactics, like doing social later or I don't know, putting schema in, although schema is on page, but or buying links. That's not where you're going to gain ground. If you want your business to win, if you want your SEO venture to succeed, dollar for dollar, the only place you can gain ground is in this full on-page process. By choosing the right keywords to go for to begin with. Did I mention how important it was to go for the right keywords to begin with? Is everybody, including Neil, like, yes, yes, we hear you. Good, because it's the most important thing I'm going to say today. Trying to rank for the right keywords to begin with, the absolute most important. A very far second is building better on page and building more pages faster than everybody else. That is where you can gain ground in this marathon that started 20 years ago and you missed the starter pistol. The only place to gain ground on your competitors is building more high quality content in a more efficient way, faster, easier, sexier, better than them, in a rinse repeat motion you can keep doing that doesn't incur risk later on down the road, because the AI has streamlined the process for you and not only allows you to go faster, but it builds at a certain quality level. Statistically, if you get a human doing it, your quality is going to be like this. Wow, this page is ranking, but this other page you made is not ranking. I don't know why. Ever seen that? All the time. wow, this page they made us ranking. Oh, this page they made us not ranking. I don't know. They did the same formula of the top 10 tips of blah, and that's all they do because that's what SEO is. They think, and so that's what they're doing, right? And then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And they're scratching their head. Oh, Google be funny. No, your SEO method be wrong. That's what it is, right? The AI allows you to build this content at a higher quality level that has much less fluctuation as to the quality. So you get more indexed because you started properly. You found the right searches to begin with, to rank for to begin with, because SEO is not fair. SEO is not fair and it ain't easy, right? So you started with the right keywords to begin with. Then you built enough pages. This one competitor we looked at, what was it? You needed 120 pages-ish on that entity, that topic. Entity is a fancy computer science word to mean a concept, a topic, a concept. That the various kinds of AIs that Google uses, and it's not just one. It's not just the NLP demo. They have a spectrum of LLMs and natural language processors of AIs. And the entities for all the different AIs are different, which I'm about to show you in a second. Rank brain entities are not the same as BERT entities, which are not the same as the helpful content entities, which are not the same as the spam brain entities, etc., etc., etc. Some are words, some are phrases, etc., etc. Some are located in the page, some are extracted out of the page. Okay, so so you need to match that content, and the only place you're going to gain ground on your competitors is in the on-page process. Dollar for dollar, that's where the SEO is cheap, is adding pages on-page and doing good on-page with an AI system like this. If and only if you use an AI system like this. If you try to do it by hand, you cannot. You cannot succeed. You cannot catch up. Just does not work that way. Maybe in the weakest of local niches, like trying to do roofing in Brandon, Manitoba or something like that. No diss to Brandon, my sister city, 2 hours away from Winnipeg, where I grew up, with like 80,000 people or 120,000 people, however many people live there. Maybe a smaller town like Beausejour, perhaps Manitoba, with like 5,000 people living there. Yeah, maybe the roofing query in Beausejour, you only need 1 page or 5 pages because no one else even has a website. And you could do that by hand. Sure. That's like 1% of the SEO game. The other 99%, and everybody on the call and everybody listening to this now, you cannot do it by hand anymore. You just can't. You need AI to get ahead. You need to spend less money and get more out of your SEO because you're playing catch up. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? It's 2025. It's not 2005. So everyone has got 20 years on you. Justin says something which is blowing my mind. Justin says, you know, some people on Reddit don't even believe on-page SEO is a thing, which is quite bizarre. Okay. What? Oh my Lord. Oh God. Okay. All right. Yes, that is quite bizarre. I can't believe they're that wrong. Oh, like I knew they were wrong. I can't believe they're that wrong. Oh my God. Okay, wow. Do not go on to Reddit and ask them how to do SEO. That is the worst thing to do. And a recipe for heartbreak and failure. I know this for a fact. I get the emails. People email me, I'm having trouble, Josh, blah. Happens all the time. It might have even happened to somebody on the call, which is perfectly fine. You can get it back, but don't listen to Reddit. Don't listen to Reddit. Okay, so that, like I said, if you listen to anything I'm saying today, listen to that. You need to start going from this to this by going to SEO Copilot here in the keyword discovery. And you need to find the queries you need to build for. If you run out of keyword difficulties, if you're like, Josh, I ran out of keyword difficulties. What do I do now? I've run out of easy or average pages to build. What do I do now? Okay, we'll start again. Go down to the end, find where it ended, and keep running these queries. Look, there's some ones that still have money attached. These could be gem keywords, right? These could be great. You should have run this to begin with to cast a wider net to see if any of these are easy or very easy. But if you had a lot of easy and very easy to start off with, then that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly good. So Justin, this is a very lucrative niche. So good job wanting to rank for it. Heck, it's it's the best one I have in the suite of keywords from the last 3 months I've been working on. So that's definitely good. That's definitely good for you. Okay, now, all right. So that's the first process, the first part. And I hope everybody gets why this has to be step number one and how it's so important to be step number one. Let me see. You guys have any questions here on the tube views? No. Okay. All right. Now, step number two. Now, typically, as Neil has asked, come on, let's get to the on-page part. Typically, on-page would start with, okay, well, what do we have to do now? Well, now that we know what pages we need to build, on what topic, now we need to build our pages out. More of the tactical application of on-page, which everyone just thinks that's what it is. But do not skip this process. You will fail if you skip this process, statistically speaking. So don't skip it. Don't do it. Don't. You. But moving right on to the tactical portion, now you would go, now you're like, okay, Josh, now we go and do the keyword competitive research, right? And now we look at the competitors, right? Now we go to the, Ad Motor Trike or whatever it is. And now we go here, and now we look at these competitors, and we try to decide, how we can rank here too, and see what things they're doing, and like copy their title tags and H1s, right? Wrong. I've got good news and bad news for you. The good news is you don't need to do any of that. My AI does all that analysis for you. The bad news is it wouldn't have worked for you anyway. Think of it this way. Even if you are a magician and you have psychic powers, and you are able, like some form of alien creature, to look at the web page and be like, I'm so good at SEO, I can tell that word is the important word. That word's the important word. I can just eyeball it. Even though Google is throwing up pages here which are not ranking because of on-page. Google will throw up pages on the SERP that rank because of other things all the time, right? Not consistently, and that's not how you win at SEO. That's how you gamble. If you want to gamble, go to Vegas. You want to win, you want to have a job, do SEO the way I'm saying to do it, where the deck is stacked in your favor. And so it used to be, and SEO used to be simple enough that we could go to a competitive page because it really was just the EMQ and the title, the H1, and the first paragraph anyway, and be like, yeah, okay, I see what they're doing, and copy that and go. And it would work, 90% of the time. Not so anymore. Doesn't work that way anymore, right? Just doesn't. On-page is far more complicated than you can do reverse engineering with your human eyeballs. That's another reason why we had to build an AI. So the good news is, the bad news is that never would have worked for you. It's probably partially why you're here. The good news is I have an AI that does it. You're like, okay, Josh, so does the AI point out the things to look at? Yes, it does, but you don't need to worry about it at all, right? You don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Let me actually grab a keyword here that I can actually build for you here. Let's see. See, this was the Ad Motor Trike. I don't know. Do these guys have Ad Motor? Is it just for Ad Motor? Yeah, they sell out an Ad Motor. Okay, so that's a bad example. Let me find here one for you. So when you're in here, basically you're like, okay, I'm going to build the first 5 ones. You click this, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to build 5 pages a day. That will take anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours, about an hour per page when you're doing the full kind of surgical building the pages out nicely. You say find the boosting scores, you say United States, and you would say go. What I'm going to do is do this one here, I think. Yeah, we'll do United States and say go. Okay. And then you'll see, boom, okay, it's running the report. The report is in here. And it's building the report out for you. And that's it. That's all you have to do for the keyword spy portion of spying on your competitors. We built this years ago when the kind of spying your competitors was like a popular thing. We realized, you know what, the AI does this all for you. We don't even need to talk about spying on competitors anymore. But that's not the point. You can also click keyword spy. You could type in whatever keyword you want here. Like, I don't know, let's do massage therapist, Winnipeg, MB, right? A local query. Let's do, it might be outside of Winnipeg, actually. So let's just do Canada and enter that. You can also do it that way. And it'll build that up for you. Now, and also, do you need to really worry about these reports? Not really. You could pretty much move right on after that point. You could pretty much move right on to the article builder. And you could build, you could try to generate pages for these. You can click generate article. See, I've already built one. I've already built a page here. I actually did this live for the SEO University while we were building a page. You can click generate article and it'll lift the topic from the report and it'll lift the page type from the report, which is very important. And you can use a custom knowledge base and all this stuff. And I'll show you what this is in a second. However, if we want to look at the report just to see what kind of crazy stuff it has and the breadth of knowledge it brings to you, let's do that. Okay, so what we do is we rebuild models, right? We 50% look at your competitors, but we're not trying to learn SEO on the fly. We already know what SEO is. Think about it. When you are looking at your competitors to try to find out what to do, you're basically trying to learn SEO on the fly. But in SEO University, we've already reverse engineered Google's algorithms, and we have for the last 10 years. We already have scientific proof as to what will boost you and what won't, what just won't move the needle. And so we avoid all those mistakes. That's the other problem of looking at your competitors, right? Not only, you're only going to be able to find 20% of what's boosting them and ranking them, but you can find 50 to 60% of their mistakes, and by accident, incorporate that in your page. That's another huge flaw in the method that, again, we just made up. Keyword competitive research, in terms of looking at your competitors to find out what SEO is just how we used to do it because that was the easiest way, and SEO was so easy that that would work. Again, it doesn't work that way anymore. If it did, I wouldn't have needed to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building this application that drives me crazy because I never wanted to be a software CEO. I wanted to be an SEO with my own mentorship group. But anyway, it's a good piece of software. It's very stressful to manage, I can tell you. But anyway, because we try to make a good quality product that does good SEO for you, as opposed to other products which are slick but do terrible SEO. Anyway, so that's another good thing about the AI is that, remember, when you just look at your competitors to try and guess what the ranking factors are, you're going to guess wrong at least half the time. And so you're going to incorporate their mistakes as well. And again, think about it. Even if you were perfect, even if you were a magical little leprechaun and you could look at the pages and little lucky charms would show up around the right things to copy and little negative charms would show up around, sorry, that breaks my metaphor. Even if you're a leprechaun and you looked at the page and little lucky charms showed up around the stuff to copy and you copied that over, you'd still copy over a bunch of mistakes with it, right? There's no way, and even if you didn't copy over the mistakes and you perfectly, which is impossible, it is impossible to manually go look at someone's page and suss out all the correct things and only import that. But let's say you could. Great, now you've gotten on par with the competitors. Now what are you going to do? Google's going to rank you under them because you can't have a tie. So now your OnPage is on par with the competitors, which would never happen, but let's just say it did. Now your OnPage is on par with the competitors. Google's going to rank you under. Now what are you going to do? Now the only way to beat them, you've already fleshed out your OnPage here. The only way to beat them is starting to push towards more risky tactics. I mean, you can build your site up and then beat them that way because even though your OnPage is terrible, it's only as good as they are. At least the OnPage on all your other pages should be good, maybe, hopefully, if you're using AI, if you're building up fast. But otherwise, there's nowhere for you to compete with them. It's on OnPage where you can compete with them, you can start beating them and go up higher than them in a cost-effective way and a risk-free way. If you want to beat them on off-page, now you're spending thousands of dollars on links or doing risky things that Google is eventually going to nab you on. Your risk tremendously shoots up when you decide, I'm going to just go equal to them on OnPage, and I'm and then I'm going to try to beat them on off-page signals. That is not going to work for the long term. That is going to increase your risk tremendously, and that's going to increase your cost tremendously. So you can't compete with them that way, right? Guys, trust me, I've been doing this 30 years. I teach people who manage over 25 million organic revenue per year. That's not what they're making. That's what they're making their customers, right? Although we make well over $1 million all added together personally, all of us, probably over 2 million per year. And again, I'm not bragging. I'm saying, guys, think of the experience that takes. Think of the knowledge that takes. Can you think of any other group that's that good, that you can trust what they're saying, right? And it's not some testimonial from 5 years ago and some bullcrap course from 15 years ago that they just changed the title on and still telling you to do PBNs or something silly or stupid like that. Not that PBNs don't work, but they're not the most effective way to do it. Anyway, and they mostly don't work. Statistically, they don't work. You can make them work, but anyway, that's another course. That's another thing. That's another thing to do. It doesn't work like it's 2005 anyway. There's crucial differences. Anyway, so you don't want to be on par with the competitors. You want to be over them. So how do you do that? Well, we've reverse engineered and rebuilt a whole bunch of models for you. Remember RankBrain? I mentioned that was one of the bigger ones. Here's RankBrain entities, right? Also BERT. Here's the BERT entities as well. Also showing you some of the important ones that they're using. Pink Martini California Kitchen remodeling. Here's a good entity. These entities are all going to be used and taken into consideration. Here's more entities, kitchen remodeling. Yep, kitchen renos, kitchen remodeling is the main entity. So that's dead correct. Then Rockland, California is the other one. It's these entities that the page needs to be about the most, but then also about all of these too, of course. You can't just eyeball that and tell. The AI had to analyze that for you. Here's another thing that they need to analyze. It's called query intent. There's a myth in the SEO industry that query intent is a ranking factor. And the answer is yes, it is a ranking factor. But it's actually internally to Google called query interpretation in the leak that we have. And that's exactly what Google calls it. And it basically means this. When people type in this, Kitchen Renos Rockland CA, it's Google literally translate that query to this behind the scenes. Kitchen remodeling services and options in Rockland, cost estimates and considerations for kitchen renovations in California. So when users type in this, Google literally changes it behind the scenes as if they typed in this. So that's why when we do the generate article, that's the topic that we pull in. The other thing that we pull in here is the HTML widgets. So HTML widgets are AKA page type. In the industry, people ask, is page type a ranking factor? And the answer is a resounding yes. It is a huge ranking factor. This would be the difference, this would be one of the major differences for Justin's question of, I could never rank for e-bikes, that'd be too broad. Of course you could. Of course you could. Google doesn't have a whitelist anymore. They used to. We found it in the leaked. They don't have a whitelist of sites that are allowed to rank for this or allowed to rank for that. It is all based on the signals you create. It's still completely open in that regard, but the deck is highly stacked to big brands. I will fully admit that. But yes, you could get some rankings for e-bike. Eventually, it would take years, probably. But one of the main things you would need to do is you need to make sure you have the right kind of a page for it. And what that would look like is the page type. Now, here's another thing where SEOs made up an abstraction 20 years ago, and it's now 20 years out of date and have never updated the abstraction. And it's on the notion of page type. If you ask anybody on an SEO forum, what does page type mean? Well, it means it's an informational page or a blog page, or it's an e-commerce page or a category page or a local page. Those are the 5 page types. Wrong. Completely wrong. There aren't 5 page types. There are infinite page types. There is no hard number to page types. Again, like the sales funnel, that's just an abstraction that we made up to use in a rough and ready way because SEO used to be so stupidly simple that we didn't need to really care about it anymore than that. But that's not how it works. Statistically, Google does what's called vector embedding on what's called the DOM, the Document Object Model. We know this because we've scientifically tested it. And it's not that this tag is a ranking factor and this tag is a ranking factor. statistically for this query, but will be different for other queries because it's all query space dependent. It's that this tag is a ranking factor only and if it is placed in this tag, which is a ranking factor, with this attribute, with this exact attribute, because it vectors towards spot number 1 in the in a vector embedding, and this value for this attribute in this element when it is rendered up into the document object model. That all is a ranking factor. And so the AI looks at tens of thousands of lines of code that you could never even look at, and you probably didn't even realize you needed to give you the exact right kind of mesh of a page. Now, this is just for the content piece. I don't have an AI smart enough yet to rebuild your whole template for your WordPress the way it should be rebuilt. So this is something of a stopgap measure, but at least it's showing you these are the kinds of elements you need to have if you want to rank. And it also, we rendered here for you. And it makes sense. You're like, yeah, of course. Kitchen remodeling, transform your kitchen, our services, the stuff we do. Oh, look at the other entities that are being talked about that need to be talked about. Look at the gallery that needs to be there. Look at the testimonials that need to be here. Look at the tables that we need with data in them. And look at the kind of data and what it says, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is truly what page type is, or we call it HTML widgets. You need these widgets on your page. The more you have these widgets nested in this way, made in this fashion, with this exact code, the higher you will rank. The more you ignore these widgets, the lower you will rank. And then we tally up all the entities from all the different particular ones that we find most important right now, and we give it a total score, and we use all these entities in that score. So that's how the reports work, right? That's how the reports work. And again, you don't really, very rarely do you need to worry about it. Sometimes you need to go in there and you need to check competitors a bit and check some things out. But that's only when you're working on really tough queries that are like, a very tough or very tough or above, and it's a high money keyword for your customer. So you want to make sure you go the extra mile and really put the spit and polish on it. Okay, so here's what it found out for that particular query. When they type this in, they're looking for conversion kit features, specification comparisons, and they're looking for all this stuff: performance, speed, and user reviews, right? And the computer and HTML widgets are here. Oh, look, you need a copyright thing. You need links to privacy policy, terms of service. Look at the specifications you need. You need to have this stuff. So let's generate an article then. So let's click on this. So the next thing you would do is go to generate the article once the report is done. Now you can go to a brief and write this manually if you want, and give this brief to a writer. I would not recommend it, however. The AI does a very good job writing it. 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, it'll do 90% of what you need. So that's going to save you a ton of money and a ton of time. So you notice it's pulling in the topic here. Now, you're like, if you don't like this topic for some reason, although I do not recommend you deviate from this, because the AI gets this perfect like 99.9% of the time. But if you want to add stuff in here, like, make sure you are super helpful with 30 years of experienced tips. You can do that if you want. Also, it'll match the AI analysis of the page type if you keep this text in here, or if you rewrite this or give it instructions, it'll take that as well. I suggest you leave it alone. Also, you can do something called using a custom knowledge base. People are like, Josh, the AI always writes generic text. Not true. Again, you can modify it here. You can modify it here. You can also add a custom knowledge base. What's a custom knowledge base? Custom knowledge base is a whatever.txt file. It's that LLM text idea that I came up with years ago that they're borrowing from me. And basically, it's a writing brief is what it is. And you tell them about what to write about. Like, for example, I know this is broken up into sections, but this is all one custom knowledge base, right? This is one text file. And I say, use this author profile, and I gave it an author, and I give it a bio, so it uses it, and I give it a thing. I can also give it a link in the author profile to where your author profile is on the site. Might not be a bad idea, just saying. And then you say, write about this product. Now, this was for the, this was not for Ultra Pet TM oil for cats. This was for the EMQ CBD oil for cats. CBD oil for cats. But I'm like, I want you to write a generic article on CBD oil for cats and its virtues and benefits. But then I want you to sell our one, Ultra Pet TM oil for cats. Here's the price. Here's the star ratings. Here's the key points to cover. And then I say, use these testimonials. These are actual testimonials with actual reviews and ratings that have we have actual testimonials, and you should actually link out to them where they are. You should always use public-facing testimonials that are real, and you should always link out to them as well, so that Google knows that's a real testimonial, you're not making it up. Also, I'm not a lawyer, can't give legal advice, and I don't know if the FTC still exists in the United States, but before the current administration, the FTC made it illegal to use AI-generated testimonials. So I highly recommend not using AI-generated testimonials. My AI will write them for you, and they will rank great, don't get me wrong, if the page requires testimonials. But I believe it's illegal to do that. So there's nothing I can do to stop my AI from doing that. So, and again, everyone who uses SEO Copilot, ultimately, you are responsible for the content you put on your site. So, but take it from me, testimonials are really good for rankings. You just don't want to use fake ones. You want to incentivize your users to give you real ones, is what you want to do. And yes, they're important. Okay, so that's how a custom knowledge base works. And I'll say, yeah, do the URL, do the title, do the meta description, and I'll say go. And it's going to erase what CP was talking about. That's fine. It always downloads CP's conversation with you. And if you're like, what does CP talk about? CP helps you. It says, look, this is the range you need to be in. Your keyword score is too low. You need to be in the green range. So that's fantastic. That's this score here. You need to be making sure you're mentioning the right entities. You're not saying this at all, of course, because the page doesn't exist yet. So you need to be mentioning these entities for sure, and the breadth of knowledge of the topic. And it also tells you how you can incorporate that in your page and gives you a whole bunch of different suggestions on how to do SEO. That's what CP is. CP, and that was all in the chat bot here. CP is your SEO Copilot, and it's getting smarter every time. While this article is being generated, let me show you a feature, a secret feature that is only available right now to SEO University students. We have an audit system that also uses CP. So let's find a niche here. Let's find a niche that we're using. What did we do? Stromer battery rebuild. What was this? Yeah, Stromer battery rebuild. Let's do that. You can also take this keyword here, and then we'll take this URL. So here we go. So let's launch a new audit. Let's put in this keyword. Let's put in this URL. Boom. Let's choose United States. And let's go English. And launch an audit. And what it will do is it will basically rerun the reports process for this. It'll tell you, it'll also search the difficulty for it and how much money it could possibly make. It'll run a report process, and what it does, it sorts all of your on-page audits into a project section. So a page audit section, you can see here, it puts them all here. And you can also work on it, and it'll import that content. So that's a neat new feature. If you look at one I did here, let's go back to audit. Here's one on just a test keyword I ran here. Show you in a second. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask them. So here's the audit details. You see, it gives you at a glance all of the particular SEO scores for this page. So it's a quick way to run a page audit. You can charge for this too, by the way. You can be like, sure, I can do these page audits, $44 an audit, and you can just run this and they're done in 20 minutes. You can do, I don't know, you could probably do 100 a day and charge $44 each for them. That's another good way to make money in SEO. So here it'll load all of the content for it, and also CP will pop up here. And this is great because I'll close it for a second. You can also so you can see, okay, the title, why it's bad, why this is bad. It tells you all the spam scores, why they're not doing too well. It tells you what the query intent is. It'll tell you what the page ought to look like, right? You can also export this as a PDF. And you can white label this. You can put your brand name here, and it will give an explanation of why that's important, why this is important, all the different metrics, and why they're important, what they're about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, again, so you're free to white label this however you like. And here's another great thing. If you're like, Josh, I'm confused how to do SEO. I'm confused how to fix this, or I'm confused about what any of these mean. You can go here and be like, okay, how do I fix this page? Top 10 tips, or whatever. And CP will tell you. This SEO agent has all the information you need based on the report that's been done. And if you're like, I don't like and it says, here, great, this is how you do it. You need to optimize the URL. You need to revise the title. You need to, and it tells you exactly what to do. Modify the title and include the EMQ directly. For example, ethics, a simple definition explained, or understanding ethics, a simple definition for anyone. Adding a date can also enhance relevance. See, it's giving you the actual actionable items of what you can do here, telling you to reduce the keyword stuffing. And this is not just generic, this is based on what it actually found for this particular page. And you can export the conversation, although it didn't make any HTML. That's what that was made for. Here, actually, sorry. Let me tell my programmer this. Please make this button download the entire convo with CP, whether it has HTML or not. There you go. Okay. So I don't know. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. It makes the audit process a lot easier. We were copying and pasting and kind of doing this manually. And if this has scores that you don't like, if it didn't import the content very well, not in a way you liked, easily enough you can go to page audit here, go to the report for it, or go to the article builder for it, and you can start playing around with this. You can be like, okay, I don't like this stuff it pulled in here. I'll delete all this here. So I just have the article, and then I'll get rid of the links at the bottom because I don't like these or whatever. Get rid of these, and then you can rerun all these scores for it and get a human curated scores for it. And you can see the scores change slightly. And the scores change slightly here, and they also will change in audits as well for that. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so the article has generated, yay. So boom, all right, damn it. This is a terrible example. Neil says, so is it normal for the AI content to not be within range, so we have to tweak it? I.e. the spam score might be too high? Yes. Yes, Neil, it's normal. It is highly difficult to get an AI to do this correctly. As you can see, sometimes it gets it completely right. This was an AI article generated out of the box, and it got it completely right. But you never really want, in general SEO, you never really want the time to come when you're letting the AI do all of the work and you never have a human looking at it. In general SEO, there are times when you want to do that. Neil says the human touch, exactly. If you are, there used to be this thing here in SEO. I'll draw you a diagram. There used to be this thing here, a range like this, and this was spray and pray in Black Hat, and you just make pages and you'd see what sticks. And then there's surgical SEO. This is as white hat as possible. Surgical SEO doesn't have to be white hat though. It's just spending as much time as possible on this page to make sure it's the best page possible. On this side of the spectrum, you're making 1,000 pages and just see what sticks. You can do SEO that way if you want, but if you're using our AI to do that, we call that, it's kind of in the middle of this range, and we call that targeted carpet bombing. And I got the name targeted carpet bombing from World War II, as you probably know. And there's recently been a show on Apple Plus called Masters of Air about this. And it's got that guy who played Elvis, that kid who played Elvis, in it, and he's all the heartthrob and blah, 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 blah. And it's all about the Allied bombers who were stationed in the UK, the Canadian and American bombers who were stationed in the UK, who did daytime targeted carpet bombing to get the bombs much closer. They dropped 20 bombs, but it wouldn't be a spray and pray. It would be a very targeted area they're dropping in. And so it's a great show. And actually, it was highly dangerous for them to do so because they're bombing during the day. In fact, the Brits said, "You guys are crazy. The casualties are just way too high for this." And the casualties were very high. But they got the bombs in the right place. Building with AI is like that. Building with the AI is like doing the targeted carpet bombing, where, yes, we built 5 pages a day. We dropped 5 bombs. But we did spend a little bit of time getting all these scores in the green. And so you do, in most cases, want a human to take a look at what kind of scores you're getting here. Sadly, I built this article because I wanted to work on it with you to get it into the green. Here's the problem. It's already in the green. My AI did a very good job getting this all in the green. This is in the green. This is in the green. This is perfect. Let's see. The H1 it'll probably complain about. The H1, there we go. The H1 complained about it, but that's fine because if the average is 66%, you want to be close to the average here, generally speaking, because that means that's just the number of keywords that are stuffed into here, and you could tell how much they're using it here in terms of the H1s. You can also view their H1s by going to outline and by going to where is it? Going here to where is it? I can't find it now. You can also find it here. Go back to competitors. Here's where the only time you would take a look at competitors. You come in here and you check the headings, and you'd say, okay, the EMQ is mid-drive e-bike conversion, and they're saying it. They're saying conversion kits here, great. They're saying the whole entity in here, great. They're saying the whole entity, fine, I could say it in the headers as well. As long as they're saying it in the headers as well, you could say it. This guy doesn't say it at all, it's funny. They're saying conversion drive kits in here in the headers, that's fine. So if they're all saying it, here is a mid-drive kit as well. If they're all saying it, then not only can you say it, you probably want to say it. So those would be the cases where the H1, you want it to be a spam score, right? You want it to be a little bit on the high side. Now, my AI is doing a good job of warning you because most niches are not so aggressive. Some are not. So my AI is trying to do a good job in saving people from not usually shooting themselves in the foot. It's usually a better idea to err on the side of caution and not stuff a bunch of keywords in here unless you're an SEO and you know what you're doing. But if you look here, you can easily tell, okay, everyone else's spam score is quite high, so I want my spam score to be pretty high as well. And as long as I'm not stuffing in this keyword like twice, and because this is such a long keyword, yes, I can say it. I could say it in here as blatantly as this, and that's perfectly fine. So this was a bad example of the AI actually getting it right, of getting you all in the green. So I need to find another example where we can work on an article together so I can show you how to get this down. It's not hard to do at all. It's super easy to do. And it's kind of the last step in what you need to do for SEO is making sure you are saying all the entities enough times that you need to say. For example, you need to see how many times you're using these entities here: Drive, Bafang, Conversion Kit, blah, 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 blah. The main entity here for Bafang, BBS2, Mid-Drive, eBike Conversion Kit is all these ones here that says under BERT, you can check. Electric Bike Conversion Kit, these ones here. So I'm gonna highlight this. In fact, I'm just gonna do electric bike. Let's see here. And then you can count them out. We got electric bike conversion kits. This is why the spam score for the H1 was so high, by the way, because it's like, oh, look, how many times you're mentioning this. We mentioned this at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So the question is here, how much are the competitors saying electric bike conversion kit? Usually this is done automatically, perfectly fine. Oh yeah, here we go. Phrase is not found. Electric bike conversion kit. Nope, I don't want to do that. You can also go to the BERT screen here and just get a general sense of how many times electric bike conversion kit's being said here. Yeah, they're not saying electric bike conversion kit a lot. They say electric bike and conversion kit. That's way less than Bafang, BBS, and mid-drive. So in fact, this might be too weak. You might do a better job by, although it's starting with the electric bike conversion kit, and then it moves over to a spotlight on this. That could be fine. Could be fine. So let's also go here and check a few other dots, I's you can dot and T's you can cross. The Bafang BBS02. See how many times we've mentioned this. So now we say it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Okay, that's probably like what the competitors are doing. So in terms of just making content as fast as possible, this is probably good the way it is. I could leave this alone. It's already all in the green, so I don't have to make any changes to it. The AI knocked it out of the park on the first try. Doesn't always do that. If you don't like some of the wording, you can change the wording. That's fine too. But again, in targeted carpet bombing, we're not going to worry too much about a single page. This was on the easier side. Remember, we found easier keywords, and we're trying to build up the weight of your site to show that you have many good answers. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a lot of pages quickly because we need to catch up with our competitors. So we're not doing spray and pray. Spray and pray would be like just do 1,000 and don't even look at them. That I would not recommend. Although that should probably be fine. I would spend just 5 minutes going over it, looking at it, 5 to 20 minutes, or an hour if you really fully want to flesh it out and do surgical. Doing an hour of SEO is now considered in-depth SEO, where it used to be like 20 hours a page. We've brought that down to 1 hour a page. So it's still an amazing savings there. But if you're doing spray and pray, you're like, oh great, it's all in the green. We could probably pretty much just publish that and go and work on the next page. I just wanted to do a little bit extra, looking to make sure we're saying all the right entities enough. The AI does a pretty good job in analyzing the entities and putting them in there enough. Sometimes you want to go a little higher and lower. The H1 is fine where it is because even though it said 60% and was red, the competitors, if you recall, were still 66%. And again, let me show you where I saw that here. It's not this average number here. That's the total spam score altogether. It's this number here. You're like, okay, well, there's 66%, and I'm not stuffing the EMQ in here. So, and they're saying all kinds of entities in here, even up to 6 entity words on average per the H3. with 30 words in an H1. You know, a good percentage of them here are you know, good 20% roughly are partial match words. So that's fine the way this is, right? For these different words. I might actually change this to this. And I want to see what's the correct spelling for this. All in uppercase. That's what I would think. So BBSO2. I might want to do that. And we're missing mid-drive e-bike. Transform your mid-drive e-bike. We could even try to do something like that. That's quite aggressive. That might be a little too aggressive. We'll see what the spam score says. You definitely don't want to be over the spam score of your competitors. Neil, that WordPress button, I'm not sure if it's working right now. What that does is there's a WordPress plugin and you're able to upload it directly to WordPress. That was made a few years ago. I'm not sure if that still works. The easy way to do this is just to copy and paste it. Take this, copy and paste it to WordPress. That's how I do it. Okay, what did it say? Oh, it's like, oh, great. That H1 is even better. Fantastic. Now it's now more on topic. Okay, so actually that's pretty good. I could go forward with this. Ultimately, as the human, you need to make the decision if it needs to be spammier, right? If all the competitors are spammier, then you need to be spammier, and that's perfectly fine as long as you, the human, are making that determination. All right, let me see here. I don't want to. I need to wrap this up. Let me quickly show you. Okay, so quite often, I mean, I've shown it week after week how to get the scores in the green when they're not in the green. Let me just show you. Let's say, for the sake of example, this score was too high and this score was too high. Let me quickly go over these scores and why they're important. The semantic score is the keyword density. You could think of it that way. It's far more complicated than that. And there are hundreds of keywords. And they're not keywords anymore. They're entities, and there are hundreds of them. And you need to be saying them in a certain frequency, right? And so you cannot manually stuff these words in. You can't be like, I've stuffed this in the right frequency. So it's good to use the AI to do it. And you need to be in the Goldilocks zone. You need to be in here in this range. You do not want to be under it. That will derank you for sure. This score very highly correlates with rankings. And you don't want to be too much over it. You could be 1 or 2 spots over it, but you don't want to be too much over it. Average predictability is a duplicate content, prosaic content, business content, and AI content score, low quality score, all wrapped into one. This score is the second highest in correlating with high rankings, and it is equal to as some of these spam scores as well. So for all these scores, you want to be 0 except for the H1 in the body. And the H1 in the body, like I said, if your competitors are higher, you can be higher. This might be a bit low. I might want that to be a bit higher, quite frankly. If the competitors are 60% on average, you probably want to be closer to the competitor score for the H1 and the body. Good, it gave me a bit of a spam, and that's because I added in these keywords here. If you come back and realize that this page is not powerful enough, or this page doesn't rank very well, you might want to stuff in some more keywords, actually. This is a bit low as well. This is on the low end of the range. You probably want this on the high end of the range. In order to do that, we want to add these keywords in here a bit more. Mid-drive e-bike, conversion, They already talk about mid-drive motors here. Spotlight on the Bafang kit. Yeah, it's probably fine. I don't know. Another thing you can look at here is how many times you're saying this here. Refresh it. We didn't say bikes enough or BBS. These are definitely important. Mid-drive is an important frequency as well here. An important entity, as I mentioned. You can also check the entity mentions here. I forgot we moved down to the bottom of the tag here of the SEO tab. So I can search mid-drive, or just mid. How about mid? Mid-drive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quite frankly, the absolute number of what our computers use are 14. We could probably say this more. So let's get mid-drive in there more. Mid-drive, Bafang mid-drive kit is 5. Mid-drive kit is 5. Yeah, you probably want to add that in a bit more. This is a little under-optimized. So that's what I'll do. Okay. So let's take this and let's upscore this. Replace. And that could sometimes get more keywords in here. Let's actually get rid of that though. Then we will focus our attention on what separates generic conversions. Actually, I'm not going to write this because I don't understand what this niche is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go down to CP and say, please add a few more entities to this para in a sentence explaining how we will pivot at the end of this article and talk about its in particular. Mention mid-drive and mid-drive kits more, please. And I put the paragraph, oops, copy and paste it here. Copy and paste that there. A bit more, but not SEO spammy stuffed. Make these sentences natural. It's important to say that. Let's just copy and see this whole thing. I just want to see how many more times we need to add it again. We need to add mid-drive 7 more times. We need to add mid-drive kit. How many times are we saying mid-drive kit here? Actually, let's talk about the kit. We were saying mid-drive kit. We don't say it at all. Oh, we say it once. Mid-drive kits, we say it once. Yeah. So mid-drive kit, I can add it here. Okay, so we need to say that 4 more times. Okay, great. So then I'll say go. And it's going to rewrite this paragraph for me and add in a little bit of smoke, a little bit of SEO juice. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now F kit. Now these mid-drive kits, mid-drive systems, you were saying mid-drive a lot more. E-bike kits. We said mid-drive kits, conversion kits. Good. Now we're saying in the top paragraph. How many times are we saying mid-drive here? Mid-drive. We're saying it 3 times here. So now we added a few more instances of that, and we added it at the top here. cranks it. No. I need to understand mid-drive. Okay, well, at least we're saying it more times now. And we run this to see how badly did we see we added more semantic score. How badly did we mess up the average predictability? Probably not that badly at all. Now, yep, 30%. Good. We want more spam. Now we want more spam. We want this to be a bit more spammy. On the high side, we want this to be a bit on the higher side as well. Okay, so now let's take, let's do, okay. Before we get into our focus of mid-drive conversion kits for the BFANG BBS02, we should talk about conversion kits for electric bikes overall. There we go. So now I've added in mid-drive again, and just conversion and kits is just a little bit outside of it. So I've added more. Now I'm getting very close to the numbers that the competitors have for this particular entity, which again, some are single words, some are phrases. So that's probably better. Now let's save it. Let's run this. Boom. Not enough juice to add to there. Good. Now the body score is like, okay, now you're really spammy. You're getting spammy, buddy. Good. That's what we want. We needed to approach their 60%. Now I've matched it. Okay, so this might be a little, oh, it's 66%. Good. Boom. That's what we want, right? Now we have, they've mentioned this 14, mid-drive 14 times, kit 11. Now we have BFANG mid-drive kit 5 times. So let's go mid-drive. We're saying mid-drive, got 20 matches, but I got some here as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, well, they still have 14, but that's good enough. We're mentioning it in the top paragraphs here, which are good. And now we want us to actually mid-drive kit as well. How many times are we saying that? We got 7 matches. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good. They say it 5 times. We say it at least once here. And we say it again here with just another word in between. So that's the extra pro SEO of how you get the keywords in there. This is now me doing kind of surgical SEO on this. Okay, so that's kind of how you play with these things. And notice now that my predictability has gone up a little bit. Now this is maybe like 0.1, a little high. But this is probably fine. I could leave this alone. I could probably leave this alone. This is a little bit higher than you kind of would want. If I ran this again, it could be as much as, it could be in range again. The heat score finally is also very important. It shows how helpful the content is and gives you a grade C, a 7 or a 7 out of 10, or a C as a passing grade. Shows you you're insightful and interesting. The heat score is the easiest thing for my content to get. It's very high quality. Look at all the tables, look at all the data, look at the comparisons, top considerations, real world performance. Now, here is a completely bullshit made up table from my AI. So make sure you, this might be illegal. I'm not sure if it is. I think it probably is. This is like a testimonial made up by an AI. So you need to change this. You might need to get rid of this, add real content. So that would be a good idea to do. Let me get rid of this. Boom. Now let's see that this is removed, what that did with our scores. Yeah, okay. So the it's still helpful enough. It just didn't like some of the SEO stuffing we did in here. We really stuffed it up, but it should be fine. Because again, the competitors are quite high as well. And I showed you the times they're mentioning these entities, and we're under their entity mention for this, and we're under the entity mention for this. So that's a good thing. So we are matching them everywhere we need to match them. So yeah, I could leave it like this and be like, man, this is a little bit higher, but I know I just changed this paragraph and this paragraph, and I know I manually wrote this. I know it's not AI generated. So even though it is very business basic the way I added this, it's still probably pretty good. If I wanted to fix this score, I would have to remove mentions of mid-drive kits. I could fix this if I wanted to. For example, I could go here like this. This is a little too smart for say CP to do, but if I have Chat GPT 4.5, I could do this. I could say, okay, I want to keep the mentions of mid-drive kits, and I want to keep the mention of mid-drive, but I want to change the sales text of this. I want this to be not so business basic, not so prosaic. Keep it helpful and just flesh this content out a bit. It can be a little bit more, but really I want it to be not SEO spammy, except for the fact that I need to mention mid-drive kits and mid-drive, those two ideas. I need to mention them as many times as I'm mentioning them here. It could do a little revision. It's kind of done a little bit more than I want it to do. Okay, so I could take this paragraph here, see how well this works here. Okay, so mid-drive kit was 2 out of 7. Now it has it an extra time. It added it an extra time. Mid-drive, it added it an extra time. Okay, and then I can go here and okay, I can do that. I'll just try that. What did it do for this? Nothing. What did it do for this? What did it do for these? Yeah, there we go. So it brought it back down. Not that I really needed to. Being 0.1 off on this is not a big deal. And it even likes the spam score a little bit more. Because it's not so SEO really. Let's just make sure mid-drive. I'm actually saying it one more time. It's all about the way you say it. Mid-drive systems, mid-drive eBay conversion kits, mid-drive kits. 7 times, that's good. So then that's great. That is another way you can kind of play with it to get to massage the numbers. This would be about as perfect as we can get, at least on building these pages here. Then what you'd want to do is you'd want to join SEO University to learn out the other stuff you want to do here by putting in images, of course. It'd be a very thin content page without images. And we just looked over the content and made sure there was no bullshit AI-based testimonials, which is good. So that's it. I mean, you kind of play with the scores, get them fixed. I have tons. I do a show pretty much every Friday. And for the last year of Fridays, pretty much, I've shown how to fix these when these are on the red and too high. It's a similar kind of process. I'm just massaging the text. All right, so as promised, no, my hair is all messy because oh my God. As promised here, we have some goodies for you guys. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask them there. And in a couple seconds, I'm going to turn off the recording, and you guys can ask me the private questions. But what I'm going to do here is add in email me. So I've got these things. I'm doing. I've done a raffle for a free audit. The person who won the free audit this week is, I thought I saved your name here somewhere. I need to find you. I can't find them here somewhere. Somebody won a free audit. Where are you? Where are you? Let me see my mail here. Here we are. Yes. Let's see. Yes, you search me. You search me. You've won. Whoever you are, you search me. So you've won the audit. The audit. Email me to get it scheduled. So if you want to win a free audit, make sure you sign up for the course. And when I email and ask you to reply yes and confirm that you're going to be there, make sure you do that. And then you can win a free audit from me. My audits, again, I have 3 years experience. I can quite often find from 40,000 feet away crucial mistakes that are going to really improve your SEO game and could, quite frankly, save your business. So that's the first gift. The second gift is coupon codes. So I have a coupon code for both SEO Copilot and for SEO University. So email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. And as promised, I'm going to share it with the Zoom group first, then I'll share it with everybody else. Gmail.com. So get first act. Add me now for a coupon discount for SEOU and SEO Copilot. I have pretty tremendous coupons available at the moment. Anywhere from in the neighborhood of like 90% off in some cases, depending on the tier you want to sign up for. 50 to 60% off in other cases. So definitely email me with the coupon code there. I gave it to these guys first, so they could email me for getting coupons for that. And now I'll add it to the YouTube for you guys who are watching. Hey there, Billy. Billy says, damn, came in late. We'll have to rewatch. No worries, brother. It's going to be here on the TubeViews. And so now I want to give you guys just some quick seconds to ask any questions if you have them. If you guys have any questions, please, that you want to ask live. I know the YouTube is about 20 seconds out of date. I'm going to give you about a minute or so to fire questions in that you want to ask publicly. You want me to answer public. And then if you have any private questions you want to ask me for folks that are on the Zoom call, I'll turn off the recording. And as promised, again, membership has its privileges. People who join the Zoom call have the privileges. I'll answer any private question you want, giving you the full secrets, telling you the full deal of the amazing ranking factors that we found. And you can also ask about your specific site and your specific context, and I can help you out with that. But I'm happy to answer any general questions right now on SEO and get a little bit into detail. So if you have any questions, please ask in the Zoom there, or if you're all good to go and you want to move to the private portion, let me know. There's still a few folks watching live on YouTube. You guys have any questions? Let me see where I am on the YouTubes. How out of date is it? Yep, I can hear myself talking about that. Okay, well, great, guys. Well, thanks very much for listening and watching. Again, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com if you have any SEO questions. I'm happy to help out later as well. But for those folks who want the private questions answered, let's do that now. So thanks, everybody, guys, for listening and watching, and we will see you soon.